Hi, and welcome to See the Stories. This is the signature segment of the 3-Hour News Show. Now, in the past, we have invited many talented musicians who make Indonesia proud. And now, we have George Harliono, a classical pianist who started his career in England, and turns out that he is a person of Indonesian descent. And here's some information about him.
George Harliono started playing piano when he was a little boy. He performed his first hour-long recital at the age of 9 and made his concert debut at 12.
Since then, he has been a regular performer with orchestras on several international stages. He has been awarded prizes in numerous competitions throughout the world, including the Grand Piano Competition in Moscow, and he was also shortlisted for a Brit Award in 2018.
And to know more about George's career in England, let's talk to George himself because we are connected with him via the internet.
Online. Yeah, I think
online.
So good afternoon, George.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi, George.
Hello, Indonesia.
Very nice to finally see you. So this is Hans, Krizia, and Aubry from the studio. Thank you so much for sparing your time and to talk to us.
Oh, thank you very much for having me on today.
So, George, probably we want to know, how did you start your career? Probably we heard about you started your career like a very young age, but we want to know from your point of view, your angle.
So I've been playing piano for most of my life. It's something that I've grown up with, something that I've always done. I started piano when I was, well, actually I got my first piano when I was 6 years old. My parents, so they bought us this really old upright piano. It was a terrible instrument. And my brother and I, we just play, we just make up tunes on it and stuff like this. And then eventually my mother got us piano lessons, and I guess I was around 7 years old then, and since then I've just carried on playing piano. It's been a huge part of my life.
I see. But why piano? If it wasn't because of your mom bought you and your brother piano, would you take another instrument instead?
Well, I did play the violin for a few years, very badly. I did play the violin, but there's something about the piano. It's almost the connection I have with it. It's been a huge passion of mine, sharing music through this wonderful instrument, and I feel when I do play in front of audiences, I feel so connected to people, and it's something that really brings me joy, and I think it brings other people joy.
Mm-hmm. And I think you made the right choice of instrument, as you were one of the youngest students to be accepted into the Royal College of Music and awarded a full scholarship. Is that true?
Yes. So
Now,
when I was...
Sorry, go on.
I'm
sorry.
When I was 15, I auditioned for the Royal College of Music, and then I started my bachelor's degree in the September after, and it was a wonderful 4 years of my life.
Wow. Tell us how you got there. I mean, obviously you told us that you took piano lessons, right? But when I see I have a son, and he's currently 6 years old, and he's taking piano lessons, and although it's his will to join the lesson, it is always very hard to make him practice every day. Now tell us, what were you like when you were that age? I mean, do you always love to practice every day? Does your mom have to push you? Tell us.
Well, it's I don't know, it's not a normal thing to my path. So I started piano, as I said, I started having lessons when I was around 7. But I really enjoyed these lessons, and I think I progressed quite quickly. And then I gave my sort of first public concert at 9 years old, which I understand is not a normal thing. But for me, I think this was a really important experience, sharing. I mean, I played in public before that, but to play for like an hour to an audience, it was a big turning point, and it made me think this is something that I really enjoy doing, and it's something that I want to continue doing for the rest of my life. And I think another big turning point for me was when I was 13. I left school. So I went to primary school for 7 years, and then I went to secondary school for, I think, 3 years. But then after that, I decided to focus solely on my music, because what I wanted to do, and to balance my piano career with my schoolwork was such a difficult thing to do. So I left school to focus full time, and then I think 2 years later I auditioned for the Royal College of Music.
Wow.
Okay, wow. So George, besides you are one of the youngest students to be accepted into the Royal College of Music, in 2018 you were shortlisted for a Brit Award, right? So how did the process work?
Well, actually, I'm not quite sure about all the details of the process, but I remember I got an email from someone I know in the business, and he just said, "Oh, you've been nominated for a Classic Brit Award." I think the award was called The Sound of Classical, and it's for young upcoming artists. And I was very grateful to be nominated for this award. And I think it's wonderful to see that, to see recognition for young musicians such as myself. And I think it's really important for people my age to be recognized for the work that we put in, as music is not an easy career.
So it is intriguing for me, for you to mention your age. I mean, how old are you now, if I may know?
So I turned 22 last Monday.
Okay.
Ah,
Oh wow! Happy belated birthday! Happy belated birthday! But also, 22, a young pianist. You chose to become a classical and concert pianist instead of pianist for popular music. Do you have any reason behind that? I mean, for these days in the industry, we saw lots of talents going for, most prospective career in the popular music, but you yet chose to become a classical and concert pianist. Is there any reason behind that?
Well, classical music is something that I've grown up with. I mean, it's not classical, but my mother used to listen to. There's a pianist called Richard Clayderman.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
I mean, it's not classical music, but it's sort of going towards classical music, if you know what I mean. And this is some of the stuff I grew up listening to. And then, of course, when I started piano, my training was very classical, which means that, I mean, it's something that I've grown up with, and I adore classical music at the moment. The great thing about classical music is it's so, like, all pop music is based on classical harmonies. So for me to play pop music, it's an easy transition for me to make almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the moment, my focus is strictly classical. Who knows what the future holds? But at the moment, classical music is my passion, and I want to share this sort of music with audiences as much as I can.
Right.
I see.
But what are the challenges as a classical pianist in the music industry? I mean, earlier you mentioned that having a career in music isn't easy, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, classical music it's a strange world. I think the whole music business is quite a strange business. However, it's a weird and wonderful place. I mean, classical music, I think, is perhaps quite a spaced out industry. Like, I get to travel to amazing places to perform. I'll be coming to Indonesia in June, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, I get to travel to lots and lots of different places, and I understand that might not necessarily be the case with all pop musicians, especially ones who are just starting out. I get to travel a lot, and I get to play with different orchestras and meet new audiences. And also, I think that at the moment, to be kind of a young rising classical musician it's tough, but it's fun. And I feel that, like, for example, when I post online or when I do concerts, I get a lot of people who are happy to see young people playing classical music. And this is also something that now and definitely in the future I want to encourage and inspire the next generation of classical musicians. That's something that's really dear to me, and it's an important part of what I do, and I'm going to be doing as much as I can in the future.
Yeah, interesting. By the way, George, talking about Indonesia, your mother's side of the family is from Indonesia. So does Indonesia have any influence on your music?
I mean, of course, I was born in the UK, but my mother is from Jakarta, and when I was younger, I used to go to Jakarta once or twice every year and spend time with my family there. But unfortunately, I've never performed in Jakarta, and I feel like I really want to, it's an audience I really want to connect with. I do get a lot of people online from Indonesia asking when I'm going to be coming to Jakarta to perform, or to Indonesia. And yeah, it's something I really want to explore more. I want to perhaps try playing some Indonesian music, for example, some transcriptions for piano. I think that could be really fun. Yeah, it's something I really want to connect with more, because it's my heritage and it's important to me.
Oh, well, so you will be in June, if I'm not mistaken, like you said before. So, and also, one of the things that caught my attention is also that you're very young, and also looking at you on the piano. It's some sort of, for me to see musicians getting in the zone when playing instrument, it's like they're in this state of possessed, something like that, like, something like that. But George, you were saying about changing the transcript of Indonesian music to classical piano or something like that. Is there any Indonesian music that is familiar to you that you want to, probably you want to make a different arrangement to it and you play it in front of the audience, something like that?
Well, it's something I'm working on, because I mean, my mother, I remember when I went to Jakarta when I was young, I remember I used to hear songs, and my mother also knows a lot of Indonesian songs, and I think that I really want to explore this sort of music more, and I want to, definitely, when I go to Jakarta, I'll play something. I'll play something nice. I mean, the program at the moment is very Western classical music. I'll be playing Beethoven. I'll be playing Rachmaninoff, but there'll be a few extra little pieces.
Wow.
All right.
That's the teaser.
That's the teaser. So for you out there listening to our conversation, you have something to look up for. All right. So we will talk more with George after the break. So don't go anywhere. All right, you're back with us on the 3-Hour News Show, and we are still here with George Harliono. So, George, you often post your performance with your sister on social media, and your sister is the singer, and you play piano. So, do you prefer performing or with or without a singer? Not particularly your sister. I mean, which one you prefer?
Well, most of my kind of performances, my focus at the moment is solo playing. Actually, honestly, compared to singers, the ensemble that I perform with most is usually orchestras and conductors. I'll usually be playing a piano concerto. However, sometimes I'll give a concert with a singer, and it's something I really enjoy doing. It's nice to, for example, when I play solo piano or when I play with an orchestra, I'm usually at the front of the stage. I'm usually the soloist. But to be with a singer, to have that sort of dialogue with them, to have that feeling of this performance could go in any direction, it's really fun, and it's different, but it's a good kind of different. It's nice to be able to do both, but it's difficult to say what I prefer. I mean, the thing that I do most often is solo playing. I really, really enjoy playing with other musicians on stage.
Okay. And George, I'm curious, what has been your most prestigious stage ever?
That's a difficult question. Well, I mean,
Oh, come on, George. You might have one favorite of yours.
well, favorite and prestigious. I mean, I think they're sort of two different categories.
All right, all right.
All right,
mean,
prestigious then.
Prestigious.
Yeah.
then.
I mean, in London, I played at the Royal Albert Hall with Chinese pianist Lang Lang, which was a really big honor for me. And also, I've been really lucky to perform on some amazing stages in Moscow. I played at the Great Hall of the Moscow Conservatory, which is one of the most important halls in Russia, and also most recently in Zaryadye Hall, which they very kindly gave me an award for that performance. But my favorite stage, actually, I think my favorite stage is probably the Moscow Conservatory, the Great Hall, because it's such an important and prestigious hall, and to be able to play on that stage is a huge honor, and it's kind of surreal playing in a venue which you've seen so many times online or in videos, and then to actually be there is something different.
Well,
All right, there, we had an answer.
yeah. If you have an opportunity to collaborate with, let's say, 3 musicians, who would that be?
Well, I mean,
Another difficult question.
Yeah, it's tricky because there's so many musicians. I mean, of course, there's a British conductor who I really admire called Simon Rattle, and to play with him, he's someone I've grown up watching, and I've always been inspired by him. So Simon Rattle. And then, of course, there are pianists who really inspire me, such as Yevgeny Kissin or Martha Argerich. But I'd really like to collaborate with more Indonesian musicians. Like, I want to, as I said before, I really want to sort of go back to the roots of my mother's side of the family, and to collaborate with Indonesian musicians. There's a wonderful conductor called Adi MS, who I'd really like to collaborate with. And yeah, he's a wonderful conductor, and to perform with him in Jakarta, my mother's hometown, would be a huge honor.
All right, so among those names that you've mentioned, I only know IDMS. Of course, I knew Richard Klederman, and also, as much as I don't play any instrument, I also listen to Ludovico Einaudi. But let's say there's a young pianist out there who watched this interview. What advice that you can share with them?
Well, I mean, the thing about music, and something I always feel very strongly about, is it's not about becoming the best pianist out there. It's about, I mean, the reason we play music is to enjoy it and to bring joy to ourselves and to bring joy to others, and that is the essence of music. Music it's such a powerful art form. It's, I think, perhaps the most powerful art form because it's abstract. You can't, it's not like a painting which you can see. It's not like a sculpture that you can touch. Music only exists in one moment, and I think that because of this, if the most important thing is just to play music and enjoy it in the moment. It's not about winning competitions, and it's not about playing the fastest or the loudest. It's about playing the music that you want to because you love to do it, and the joy of music is something that I encourage young people to experience.
So it's more inwards than outwards.
Exactly. It's not a sport, and I think that's like in the 21st century. I feel like often people just want to see faster and louder music. But I think that especially classical music, there's something deeper than that. It's about emotion, and that's essentially what music does. It manipulates our emotions. I think it's a beautiful thing.
All right, wow, I got goosebumps like just listening to him explaining about music. I mean, to me, you're a true musician, you know, because you don't even care about competition. You only care about the music that you deliver to the audience. And usually good musicians can transfer their energy to the audience, that you can feel the performance, you can, you know.
So it's like you're speaking from your true experience. So George, by the way, Krizia's husband is also a musician.
Yeah.
And little did we know that both of my ladies over here, they got some education from the Royal College of Dance.
Royal Academy
Royal
of Dance.
Academy of Dance. So basically, they understand music quite a bit, unlike me. But what we can learn from today's conversation is kind of like music is a universal language that you can understand only by yourself, but also if you want it, you can actually translate it and radiate it towards the audience and get them to understand what you want to deliver.
That's right. But you know what? Let's just wrap this interview by singing George's performance. Could you please play a song for us on your piano? And what song are you gonna play for us?
So this piece is called Hungarian Rhapsody No. 6. It's a dance. It's music based on dance themes from Hungary, and it's by a Hungarian composer called Franz Liszt.
I see. All right.
All right.
So ladies and gentlemen, George Harliono.
I said all music isn't about speed and being loud, but this piece is virtuoso. So it's quite fast.
Wow.
Wow. George, You are very talented and also you are very gifted.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's,
George,
he's
thank you
definitely
very
gifted. I mean, concert at 9 years old.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
Accepted in the Royal College of Music.
Right.
But George, thank you so much for gracing us with your performance and also with the experiences that you've shared with us.
Yeah.
We hope you nothing but the best and we are waiting for your performance in Jakarta.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Oh, makasih ya.
Oh,
Ya, makasih
sama-sama.
sudah undang.
Thank you, George.
Send our regard to your family. Thank you so much. Wow.
Bye.
Thank you.
That is one.